Testing. I don't know why I'm waiting. I for some reason thought something was gonna happen when I say testing, but nothing's gonna happen. In any case, I'm pretty tired again today, even though I took some time off today. It's going back and forth. This fever. I don't think I have fever anymore, but it's still I'm not feeling the best. Early stream today. Is it early? It's like early by a minute. Let me see. October 1. October 1? Okay, October 1. Ah man, hello Igami. Man, my throat is worse today. It was the worst 2 days ago, then it was okay yesterday, and today it's getting a little bit more scratchy. It is what it is, a back and forth. I want to take it easier today, but I don't want to take it too easy. I'll do some sketches and I'll do a bunch of color studies. We'll keep them simple and keep them quick, and then do it for 30 minutes each, hopefully, ideally. And hopefully it gets us somewhere. Oh, I opened the wrong canvas. Hello, Kirio. I'm taking some of my free time to work on my character. Second character. Well, she's the fourth one, technically speaking. I'm just getting in some poses here. I think like trying to define Ria's personality directly is going to be super hard for me, because I cannot allow myself to do it properly. So I think creating new characters actually helps with the process, because when I decide on the personalities for those characters, I can then compare them to my Ria, and then see what kind of differences there might be. So it seems like it feels like it's a little bit of a sidetrack doing other characters first, but I think it might be the way forwards. And then on stream, I'm just gonna mostly focus on fundamentals of colors in the meantime here. Colors and black and white stuff. Maybe entire illustrations is still a little bit too ambitious. We could definitely do it, but it's the same kind of do it as in like I take a really complicated thing and try to copy all the different shapes I need in order to achieve it. It's doable, but it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. Isn't really a good representation of the current level of skill. So maybe I can take it slower and just go through some exercise. Yeah, this new character is quite a bit more fleshed out. Not this one that I'm drawing. I'm not drawing her right now. We're just doing usual studies right now. But the new one, she's always been kind of more fleshed out, because the purpose for her creation is a lot clearer. Whereas Ria is like this, I don't know, it's like a stray dog that I picked up along the way in my life. That's what makes her special, but this one makes it really hard to move forwards. She's not exactly adopted. No one else like sort of owned her beforehand, but I also don't really feel like I've kind of created her. She's just kind of born out of a bunch of different things that happen in life. My own thought process, that kind of stuff. So it's weird, because she's like a created that I character, but also sorry, a character that I created. Did I say I created that I character? Holy shit. I'm not feeling so good today. But I also didn't really do anything. That's what makes her so special. Kind of weird. It's nice to just sketch, man. Like now that sketching has what was it like? So number one, okay, let me check. Yeah, but I mean everything falls underneath, right? So there's like straight lines. Hmm. Am I the only one left? What, people stopped? She's a gender band me? No, she's not a gender. Okay, but the interesting thing is like each of my characters, they take on a different part of me. So all of my characters, they are specifically sort of taking charge of a specific part of my life. That was the original concept. Although back then it wasn't that fleshed out, it wasn't that clear cut. But nowadays it's been really clear cut, as in like, oh, this character is specifically the ambitious side or like the lazy side, you know, like all these different. You take that and then you bring it to the extreme. Then I create the character out of it. So the four of them kind of represents the, well, rather the three of them, because the Rhea doesn't really count. Anyway, sorry about this. This is nonsense here. So yesterday we were spending like a whole lot of time. I spent like an hour and a half trying to figure out the process of like classifying. So for the longest time, I wanted to create like a sort of a model in terms of how to approach art. Because if you're a beginner, like I'm thinking of myself from like 10 years ago, and if I tell him to get better, right? What is getting better is practicing fundamentals, but practicing fundamentals is really dry and boring, you know? Like when I learn things, I want to know what this knowledge is for and how it's going to be used at the end. So if you're just telling me to practice perspective and just telling me that you can use it to create all these compositions and stuff, it's a bit too vague. It's not like if you do math, you tell me you use like you learn multiplication, you can use it in algebra, you can see immediately how it's going to be used. But perspective in comp, you know, there's a lot of other factors involved, like your composition, the storytelling, the balance in terms of like the type of shapes, the big shapes, small shapes, that kind of stuff all comes into play at once. Everything comes in at once, and it gets really overwhelming. So yesterday I was just breaking it into the different stages after some discussion. But yeah, it's so intention of the piece, and then the ideation of the piece. You either get some ideas from reference, your own ideas, or you just want to explore on a blank canvas. You get the idea, you get some references, then you start to do your thumbnailing. This is a thumbnailing. It looks like the word immunity. But you just thumbnailing, figure out the composition, the main layout of the thing, but along with some values, so that you can get some idea of where everything goes. Like this can be dark, you know, foreground. This can be brighter. Then this can be the brightest part with the sun hitting it, something like that in the background. So here you take care of some of the composition, like values and detailing and shape language. And then after that, you can go into color wrapping, where we only focus on the color. This way, like the entire process is very clear cut. You only do one thing at one stage in time, and if you're bad, you can evaluate that one stage like by itself. It makes it a lot easier for me to tell like what is bad in my process. Then you go into rendering, where you don't care about everything that we have and just render. And then at the end, you can do a final evaluation that feeds back to everything before. That's what this big line here is. And then so on and so forth. And then like when I do studies, I know like specifically what I want out of the studies now. Because if I do a color study, I do a value study, what is it that I'm trying to figure out? Like trying to learn from it. But now I know that, hey, if I'm doing value, I just want to look at composition. I just want to look at what the big shapes are. Or if I'm doing color study, which I'm going to do later, I just want to do the colors, and that's it. So over here is the same version for sketching. I think sketching has only been enjoyable because after all this time of drawing a bunch, like stuff like straight lines or like drawing the curve that you want, like if you just want to draw a curve, sometimes you can't get the curve you want, right? It looks like shit. But now that you can get I can get the curve I want, mostly in 1 or 2 tries, it's become a lot easier to draw, because then you fail a lot less. You get stuff like drawing things in perspective, line weights, certain simplifications like the feathers, you don't want to be drawing everything. You're just kind of like doing some shapes after time, right? Like, but depending on the context, like these can be feathers or they can be something else. And then the balance of details, how many small stuff, big stuff, that kind of shit. So interesting. I'm just trying to keep track of these. Not necessarily I'm trying to teach anyone here, but eventually I want to make a video. It's like, you know, stuff that I wish I had known, or like I would tell myself in my past, to my past self, to get started. I will include all of these things, because if I had known how to think about art back then, I think it's a lot easier to make progress and not get overwhelmed. But anyways, sorry, I kind of ignored chat for a bit. Yeah, I don't watch any other streamers, as you guys probably know. Complete gone after 365 days complete. Also saying graduated from YouTube. He just graduated from YouTube? What does that mean? He just stopped streaming? I mean, eventually it's gonna happen to me too, I imagine. I don't think anyone can do this forever. I mean, unless I'm making money from this, but I don't know if I want to make money from this. Because the moment you make money from something, the math that you have to do is different then. Because I'm chasing for skill right now. But if I'm doing for money, I have to chase the numbers. That means pushing out a lot of kind of like any content I can find, I have to push it out. Because the moment I stop, YouTube penalizes you. Yeah. Work. I've been taking some time off from work just because I'm sick. I don't really want to take time off because it's not good, you know. Like, even if you are, you know, taking time off because they, you know, you have the time off to take, it's for you anyways. Your work is not getting done. Humans are like more emotional. So like from a manager's point of view, they will just see it as like, hey, this guy hasn't finished his work for a long time. Yeah, he's been sick, but you know, like this other guy has been working pretty hard. I guess I'll give this other guy more money. So you know, things don't really work. It's not like what you can or cannot do. It's just like, I mean, work is mostly managing expectations, managing communication and stuff like that. So it's not really just about getting work done. It's about making people feel like you're doing a bunch of work, even if you may or may not be. There's a lot of stuff that happens. Even in school, I remember, like, I always keep like I try to keep a point of view from the supervisor's point of view, so I can understand like how is it that they feel about me, like how is it that they feel about my work. Do they like it? Do they not like it? Are they showing signs of stuff that, like physical signs, or like are they telling me that they like it? But are they actually, do they actually like it? You know, like you talk to people, like sometimes people say something but they don't mean it. But you can tell from the way that they act and their body language and their reaction to certain situations. If they really think highly of you, then they'll probably leave you alone more, right? They won't ask you too much. If the manager keeps coming in and be like, hey, how are you doing? How's that work doing? You know, how's that work going? Oh yeah, it looks pretty good. You're making pretty good progress. I see. But he asks that every day. Then you have to question, you know, it's like, is this guy doing this for every other employee, or is he only doing it to me? Hello, Lord. Because if he's only doing it to me, even though he's telling me he thinks that I'm working fast, but he probably doesn't think that way in his heart, then I have to be careful and be like, oh shit, I better get better, man. Yeah, X laugh you. I don't know, man. That seems to happen every stream, man. Maybe the stream is the problem. Because it feels like you guys are making out outside of stream, and then like on the streams you guys always break up. Maybe the stream is the problem. Sounds like trouble. No, like, sorry, Igami, that was just an example. I keep everything above waterline, so I need to make sure that I don't ever get to that stage. That is what happens if you know, if you're doing bad. if you're on top of all these sort of expectation management, you should never get there, or rather you should never allow yourself to get there. And if you are heading in the direction, you best be ready, you know, of bad things happening. So look for another job, start looking for another job, start prepping your resume, that kind of stuff. Saving up some money to get ready. That's why I don't really like people in general, because it makes things really complicated. Like, you can choose not to think about stuff like this. You can always choose to just go with the flow. But the thing is, life, if you just go with the flow, sometimes it puts you in a bad situation where you just can't get out of. And then it comes down to, like, you know, hey, how badly do you not want to get into situations like that? If you're okay with getting into situations like that and then try to figure it out from that point on, that's fine. You can just ignore stuff like this. Don't think about it too much. But if any disruption comes in, my streams has to stop. I have to stop working on art, and that's a huge problem for me. So I have to keep on top of it, which makes it really tiring. Oh, okay. Kirio, nice that you mentioned it, because at some point in time, I may or may not have to hide all the stuff, all the streams. I wouldn't hide it, like make it inaccessible. I'll just probably unlist it so it doesn't flood the channel. It depends on how crowded the channel looks right now. I don't actually know. I don't think it looks that bad because they have a new lives sort of tab now on the YouTube page. But if you guys ever want to find the streams again and you guys can't see it in the channel, it's probably because I unlisted it. But if you go to the playlist, there will be a streams playlist there. Everything will be accessible from there. They will always be accessible. So because that's the whole point of me streaming in the first place, is to keep a record. If I'm just gonna hide everything, like make it inaccessible to everyone, then there's no point. I might as well just do it by myself. But yeah, so just do know that, like, if you guys ever can't find it, it's because it's probably just hidden, but not gone. Yeah, as long as, like, because in the past, like, if you go to the videos page, it has all the live streams as well, crowded there together. And since most people subscribe to the channel for the videos, not the streams, I didn't really want it to crowd it up that much to make it so messy. And they can't find what they want to find, you know. But if it's in its own tab, then I'm inclined to keep everything open, because why not? No reason to make it harder for people to find if I don't have to. Oh man. Yeah. Sometimes I think taking a break is fine, like just indulging in your own sort of, I don't know, desires. As like someone famously said, you know, like sometimes like survival is weird, because sometimes the best thing to do is to do nothing to survive. Whereas like the bears hibernating and stuff like that, the best thing that they can do to get through the winter is to just not do shit. So it's not really a bad thing to rest, just don't rest too much. Oh, it's a good boy. Okay, then you're screwed. Alright, then it's GG, bros. GG's, bros, GG. Oh man. Let's do some anatomy. I'm gonna do color studies. I'm mostly just gonna do studies today because I don't really want to think. Without thinking, it means learning less though. Because if I'm not trying to do stuff myself, I find that I don't learn anything. The passive learning sort of sequence thingy, plan, schedule, program, I don't know what's a good word for this, but that I've always done is it's only viable with this capacity, I think. Recently it's more of just kind of at max cap, perhaps. Maybe at max cap, maybe not. Kind of hard to tell. I've always felt like if I can spend time talking and playing games and like watching videos, that means I'm not at max capacity. But I don't think that's how humans work. I think maybe perhaps it's not a good way to measure it. Sometimes you really just have to do nothing or watch videos or like just zone out. I guess it makes sense. I mean, sleep is necessary, right? And sleep is essentially just doing nothing. So evolutionary, biologically, you kind of need that empty space. Alright, why did I choose this? I don't know why. I said I was going to do anatomy and then I started looking for color references because man, brain on autopilot is amazing. It just does it whatever the hell it wants. Oh wait, where's the oh, I wanted to do legs. I thought I had like a whole bunch of leg references somewhere stored. Oh, I don't know where they went. Tired. Am I feverish again? I think I might still be having a fever. I thought it's gone. Hang on. I'm gonna take my temperature now and take a look and see what it's like. Okay, let me reset the thermometer. Do you guys know what mercury thermometers are? Do you guys use that? The one with the mercury inside in the glass tube. Mercurial? I don't know what's the word for it. Well, where the hell is my... Oh, it's this one. It's this tab here. It's not female anatomy. What? Where is it? Did I lose it? I might have lost the tab that I needed. Oh, you have one? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go to the washroom. I'll be right back. I'm still looking for references here. Where are all the sketchy ones? I don't know where they went. But yeah, I'll be right back. Okay. Oh, you broke it. Very dangerous, dangerous. I'm gonna focus on like lower half anatomy because it's always very confusing. I don't know how to simplify it. Every time I have issues. So I'll just do more. And we need to start off with building blocks, I think. We need to start off with simple shapes so that I can have something to fall back on. But ideally, no hip bones. I don't want to do iliac crest and stuff. A little bit unnecessary. Maybe you can start off here. Start off with this. Yeah, start off with Minecraft. So yes, now it's very challenging to draw now. I have to balance my tablet. I have to draw, but I also need to keep my thermometer in place. Very exciting, very exciting. Yeah, I'm still feeling a little bit cold. I think my fever came back. That's not good. We'll find out in 5 minutes though. I've seen a lot of different simplifications. One of them did this, where you're supposed to draw this U-shaped thing in the front of the box. This here will be the iliac crest, like that bone landmark. I forgot if it's called the crest. And then over here is where the crotch begins, so you get like a tiny gap. This one here is kind of similar, except they extended this down. But I guess it's only for this angle though. Oh, they started here. That's okay, I turned the heater up. I can sweat at night if I want to. It's just that I can't sleep. Like I always have to make myself feel cold before I can sleep, otherwise I can't sleep. Which is probably how I got the cold in the first place. But yeah, it's kind of tricky, man. The balance at night that I have to do to get myself to sleep. Temperature needs to be done correctly. My mind needs to be put in the right place. Yeah, I don't really feel this. Yeah, let me see. Oh, I see they pushed the iliac crest down here. Because they're doing it like this. Man, I can't wait to feel this competent with colors, man. Like lines now, like it makes a lot more sense. I can put things where I want them to go. Like my hand can just move the way I want it to. Colors, I feel like I'm blind or something. Can't tell what's happening half the time. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's a use it or lose it kind of situation, always. Why are humans so inefficient, man? Like, we can't just do once and remember it? That sucks, dude. And this is the good thing of this setup. I can just erase like it down to a certain opacity and then bring it back. Umazing, umazing. Umapyoy, umapyoy. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the... Wait, up above the what? The sky? Up above the... Shit, I don't remember lyrics. Oh my god. Dude. I am die. Goodbye forever. Oh no, it's thank you forever. Never mind. I fucked it up too. Up above the world, dude. Oh my god. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I'm still at 37, low 37 something, 37 plus. I still have a fever, like a low fever. Yeah, it's always that. So yesterday, because an unknown individual was asking for help with his art, and yeah, like so, I feel like if you learn construction, it's the most powerful way because, at least for me, in my head, I like to have like a correct answer. And if you put a perspective grid, and you have boxes in the perspective grid, there is a correct way to do it. There's an objectively correct answer to where the boxes should go. And so if you can simplify anatomy down to boxes, you can objectively fall back onto something that is always correct when you're stuck. But the thing is, it makes things really slow. And, you know, slow is smooth, smooth is fast, right? Over time, you build up that sort of competency. But you can also go the other way, which is just go like vibe drawing, man. Where you just freaking draw it based on vibes. And that's kind of how I learned to draw faces. That's why my faces are kind of jank without any references, because I cannot construct them. I don't know what's happening. I did not. I don't know how to construct. I think that's fine. I'm just gonna ignore it. So they put a trapezoid. They put the iliac crest tip bone landmark thing at somewhere in the middle of the side of the trapezoid, and then they leave a gap in the bottom, and then that's where the crotch it goes down. That makes sense. I think that's what I've seen before. Similar to what I've seen before. Not quite the same. Everyone kind of does it differently. I honestly think that guidelines don't really make sense for like it doesn't make sense to learn someone else's guideline. I guess you could start off with what someone else has or have, but you always have to create your own. I feel like you have to make it make sense for yourself and then come up with your own set of guidelines. I don't really get what people are doing. I feel like a lot of these guidelines only work if you already know what is it that you want to draw, like what it's supposed to look like. I know in the past someone has like taught me like a YouTube video or something somewhere saying that like, if you want to draw limbs, right, for example, coming at the viewer, like if you want to draw foreshortened limbs, it's difficult because usually it's like this, but then when you're foreshortening, you can draw like a bunch of circles to help you see it. But I always feel like the only way this will work is you kind of already know where it would go in the first place and how it would roughly look like. If I just have no idea anyways, like I don't think it helps at all. This thing. I don't know, man. Like if I do the box here, so this would be the middle point, right? Based on what we've seen. And then ここか? ここら辺ぐらいかな? A bit more. Like that, like that. Cut, cut. Cut, cut. No, but this side goes up, no? So it'd be like that. Crotch. Then what? What's over here? Yeah, it's for shortening, but like I feel like if I don't know what it's supposed to look like anyways, it doesn't really help me. Like drawing coils doesn't make it easier to draw for me. I would have had to know the you know, like the width or like the direction of how long it needs to be anyways. And if I had known those things, then why don't I just draw it, you know? If I already know how wide it's gonna be, I know how long it needs to be. It's not like it's a mathematical formula, you know, when you're saying that, hey, if you're drawing foreshortening, make sure that each of these distances of the coils are exactly some x number, and this x is a function of the angle of the foreshortening theta or something like that, you know, like if you don't have like some kind of a formula like this, then this is just you doing this. Like you could have done this, you could have done this, you could have done this, you know, like the only reason you will know which one to choose is because you already know what to do. Then in which case you don't really need this. You would just have done it anyways. Isn't that how it is? That's kind of how I feel about it. Because the coils doesn't help you with the muscle groups. It doesn't help you with figuring out how short it should be, which usually is my problem. I don't know how short it should be in the front. Should it be that or should it be this? This is no shortening, I guess, but yeah, anyways, get out of here. Oh my god, this big ass arm. Eat. Are you supposed to see the butt here? Or no? Okay, I'm doing this without reference, it's not good. I'm gonna go back to references. Oh, I see. I do have like manga material stuff. Was it torso? I think it was torso. Torso. No, torso includes top too, but it doesn't matter. I guess we should just do both anyways. Gonna temporarily move some of these into my board. Board. Yes, sir. Board. Right, but these ones don't have guidelines then. Don't have a good setup. I guess we have to set it out ourselves too. It should be this way, right? Right, because it would be like this. The block would be here with some width. And then it's the gap. The big hole. The press goes forwards and then down, locking onto here. And then the bone stops there, goes back up, this one comes down. I guess it'll be more like this at this angle. And then lowers down like that. Goes bigger. Bone comes out. Lock and then down. Horizontal sideways. Oh, I see. So this is a bit lower. I don't see. Anyways. Irande. Alright, comes out, hits the bone, bounce back. Right, my angle is not quite enough, but what the? Oh my god, my pen keeps dismantling itself. This is weird. Wacom pens has like this this ring at the front of the pen that you can change out for different colors for just aesthetic reasons, but there's this thing that you can screw and unscrew, and it's just by, I don't know what to call it. It's like this pen tip like this. This is the tip, and then there's like this thing ring here that you can change color. But then this part here unscrews off. And it just keeps unscrewing off right now automatically for no reason. I don't know what it's doing. I'm not even touching it. I'm holding here. This is where the grip is. Oh my god. I'm very amazed I haven't lost that ring. I've been using the same ring. That color ring thing. Just for aesthetic reasons. I've been using the same one for all these years. For 10 years. And it has unscrewed itself so many times, but I have never lost this ring. Yet. Not yet. Wait a second. So it is supposed to be, right? That means the iliac. So what is that thing? Wait, hang on. there is the bump that we see. Alright, so it's the waist and then the bump and then straight and then... So this is the waist part. Waist. Then bump. And straight. Then bump. Or if my setup it wouldn't work. Oops. It would mean that this goes up higher than this. Let's back down. This is you. The front part goes front and then down. Hello, Nexus. I'm tilting this way. I'm pulling this here. Hit, down, down, crotch, right there. Cannot see shit. Make it so that I can see shit. And then the back. Other side of the back. The butt. Let me see. So this is the back of the bone here. That's the tailbone there. Oh, what does this look like again? So it's back and then down. Oh, it's facing front? Wait. Oh, I see. It's because the hip is tilted forwards always. But it is on the side, It's just the side part. It's still slightly front though. Okay. This is still slightly front. This is the target over there. Be like right here, popping out. Makes this here. No? So go on the top. Push the top. Oh. It needs to be like a combination of both, man. It's like half of it is construction, the other half is just having the experience to just take over and be like, yeah, this is the shape I want. I don't care about anatomy anymore. I just want it to look like this now. Oh, it's juicy, juicy cakes. Good cake shape. Can we get some good cakes before we go? You need both, huh? Right, so with the top left, let me see. So I'll construct it somehow using whatever the hell I have picked up along the way. Right. Whether if it's the crest or if it's not the crest or like a box or like a bunch of weird lines. Whatever works, works. I don't know where this goes, but it also doesn't matter. Nobody cares about that. Also, nobody cares about the tailbone. So nobody cares about that. It's fine. So my target is here. I'm gonna put this as the landmarks. This will be the crotch. The pelvic bone right here. And then these guys come out. Ooh, I don't know how far though. Knee is targeted below here-ish, so I'm gonna push it here. Knee is facing down-ish. So I don't know the length here. And then the other one is rotated. Don't know where this bone is again. Knee is here but facing this other way here. I'm gonna draw a cube here to represent the shapes. Maybe give it a bit more down, I'm not sure. Yeah, down だったらこっちじゃない？これか。わかんないな。I'm not sure. And then this bone comes here. I don't know where the rest of the legs, how the rest of the legs bones work, but we don't care about that for now. Okay, so now the muscle groups, right? So, shit. The crotch will be here. For the most part, there should be something here and here. Just the waist. The abs go down just above here. A connection from here to the side of the knee. And then from the crotch, there should be some meat over there. Don't know what they're called. Muscle on top of the knee. I hit the max point and then come back in. Kind of missing my bone landmark here, but so it's the same. So from here, I need to come here. And there should be something here. Join that. Up. I forgot what other muscles here are doing. There's like a joint here too. A tendon or something? I don't know what this is. If I shade it a little bit, this would be... Okay, maybe not shading. Shading. Okay. So I'm doing this without looking at the reference. I'm trying to see what the difference is. So again, no foreshortening as pointed out by Kirio. I tend to skip foreshortening because I don't see it. So I need to fix that. I need this to be foreshortened. This width. Why is it so low? Does it mean that this is pushed out like this? Right, because it's going down. That's very good. それだったらもっとじゃないか。こうだよね。Yeah, I don't feel it. The tide is coming towards us. I don't see it. I need a breakdown of the muscles. Let's see. Shoulder. Ashi wa doko da? Ah, ashi wa betsu betsu da. Oh, this is like the oh, okay. This is this. Got it. Control Alt H, because it's Shift H. Which one was it? images selection. Oh, shift H. Right, part of it is because the link is folded more though. So there's deformations that we don't see in the other one. And the one on the left. It's not a 1-for-1 map here. Okay, I'm gonna do colors now. It's been an hour. I don't quite... Yeah, a lot of this I think is experience and just actually doing from photos. So you see a lot of interaction within the muscles and stuff. In due time, in due time. Never a lack of stuff to do. Okay. Ah, yes, okay, you know what? I should also add in a bit more detail to this. Let me see. I think for the most part, it depends on how far this needs to go. Right, yeah, it depends on how far it needs to go. Oops. Yeah, but the shape needs to go in. No, it depends on how much is going in first. Oh, yeah, that's true. So either one works. I'm trying to organize my thoughts. So instead of having all these different ideas floating around, I'm trying to group them together. So I don't get so confused. Because up till now, I think there's been a lot of different ways that I've approached. There may or may not have been a lot of different ways, I can't remember. But in my head, it's a bit of a fuzz. And yeah, whether if it's thumbnailing, whether if we're doing a color study, as long as we're touching colors and not just doing lines, I think there's a few different approach. I think the approach I like would be to cut out the big shapes first. And I think that's pretty standard. That should be pretty standard. The problem is what comes after. Do I want to take a solid brush, you know, and choose a color and just start putting in solid opacity 100% colors? Or do I want to take like a more like opacity, lower opacity setting brush, like a marker, and get like a rough idea and try to slowly work the current colors towards a certain direction? The second one should be easier, but I don't like how messy it gets. The first one is harder because you need to choose the correct color. You can always choose and re-choose and re-choose and re-choose, but working up slowly I think is a bit easier in terms of that. But either way, like there's multiple approaches to this step, and I think grouping them together makes it a bit easier for me to keep track. So I don't get confused as to what is so-called like quote-unquote the best way. It's just the same step. As long as you get to the goal that you want to get, it doesn't matter how you get there. So yeah, big shape, single color of value, depending on what it is. Then adding the gradients in to all these shapes. So these big shapes is primarily... Oh, actually no, then there's two steps to this, actually. So there's the big shapes, where it's the back, middle ground, foreground split. And then there's also the big shapes, as in like one block for each object. And then there's also the big shapes as in one light and one shadow for each object. So we work in sequence here. We split it into different layers. Then for each layer, we push out different blocks. And then for each object in there, we're going to put in a light side and a dark side. And there will only be two. So if there's additional lighting that's hitting into the shadow side, for example, depending on how much the value contrast is, we may or may not put in another one. So, or more, I think. I can't write today. Depending on value diff. So whether if it's worthwhile or not, then add gradient, smaller shapes, and marker. Yeah, so for the light shapes, for the shadow shapes, we add gradient. We sort of push the colors a little bit more based off of some kind of logic. So it could be just natural light fall off. It could be atmospheric perspective. It could be some other form of lighting. Yeah, I mean, it would just be light fall off. Actually, that's interesting. So there's a differentiation between that two sequence. Let me think here. So the light part is interesting. Well, I mean, it's the same thing because we are only painting light. If there's no light, then there's nothing to paint. It's just pitch black. But so light, we can have like strong lighting. Then in which case, we are usually dealing with a clear edge, right? Clear, hard edge. I mean, it depends on whether it's a cast shadow or whether if it's a form shadow. So we have cast shadows, there will be hard edge. And then if it's a... But even if it's like a form shadow. Right, so when do we care about the form is the thing. So if what I'm saying here is just care about colors. Huh. Because where do I draw the line? Because by virtue of the fact that the edges are smooth, there will be a lot more colors in there. And if we're doing a color study, then we should also account for those colors. So we'll put in main and put in secondary, and then we fill in the other ones as necessary. So we don't really think too much about the edges, per se. It's just about doing whatever work that is necessary to get the information that is necessary. So I don't care about this part. I think this part is going too much into the details. This is likely more of a rendering thing. So big shapes, layers by layer, object by object, light by light. Then adding variations into those things depending on specific rules, which I'm gonna list out some of the rules so I don't forget. Let's say there is oops, draw. So gradients. Add gradients. You know what? Easier organization-wise to group them in as under one flag here. So add more, and you're adding more because of let's say atmospheric perspective. Can't spell. Crispy. Light fall off. And stuff like reflected light, it depends on whether if we are dedicating a separate block for it or not. If we are dedicating like, so the more part here, right? So if you have an object and you have a light part and a shadow part, if there's a surface and the light is hitting it and then it's reflecting to form a reflected light part, RL here. So this part can be accounted for as a separate shape, or we can account for it as a gradient on the shadow. And whether if we do one or the other, doesn't really matter, I guess. I guess it doesn't really matter. As long as it's accounted for. Whatever that feels more natural at that point in time. It might be easier as a formula-wise to keep just only two shapes. So it's easier to think about. But then again, you could also have two potential strong light sources. Then that is something that's worthwhile to cut out. I mean, honestly, you're cutting out mostly because the shape itself has some meaning to it. Like if you're cutting out an object, like why not just paint the whole thing, right? It's because if you cut out an object, you can keep the edges untouched while you're working on it, since it's on a separate layer. So whether if you weren't to do it or not, kind of just depends on the edges or like how you want to work. So it depends on whether if you want to keep edges untouched. How am I writing? So that's fine. What else do we add color variations for? I mean, at some point in this formula, there will be a just add more colors stage where you just want to make things more vibrant. And this is more of a stylistic choice, I think. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool if you can come up with this formula here, like this sort of list of steps. And then as we go through different artists, we can then sort of see what the answer is to all these different questions. Whether if you're putting more or less colors in here. We have reflected light in here, we have the base shadow colors, the light colors. What other fancy stuff do I have here? Let me see. Main light, light fall off, shadow color, shadow reflect on the shadow, reflect the light on the shadow. Yeah, honestly, shadow is really boring, right? Shadow is really boring because you don't really put any gradients in the shadow. You put gradients because there is light. The gradients in the shadow really is just some kind of reflection from other places. That's fine. But workflow wise, we can classify as a gradient in the shadow. That's fine. Add more gradients, add more stuff. Okay, more stuff. So atmospheric perspective, light fall off. We can also do stuff like glows, but arguable should be left. There should be a new layer at the end on top of everything, so that it doesn't interfere with anything else when you're painting. Right, any form of reflection is really just reflect the light. That's also accounted for. Any form of special effects, right? It really just means the special effects is split into the base object, which is stuff like dust and whatnot, as well as the glow that applies on top of that. So all these shiny things, they can be thought of as different objects with the entire surface being in the light, and then gradients and stuff and is applied on top as a form of glow. All these other light effects, I think I'll account. They don't really count here, I don't think, because they're not really part of color rough. I mean, they kind of are part of the composition. It's definitely important. All these dust, lens flare, whatever, whatnot. But likely they are better for later. But let's say, how do we account for them? We can always account for them now if we want to. So this is more of a rendering thing. I'm gonna write it here and strike it out, so that's accounted for. And then we can add to this list as we go on here. So essentially for color studies and value studies, it would just be around this. The resolution to which we go down to is a separate question. That doesn't really matter. But the workflow would be similar to this. So if I take something complicated like this, one layer for the background sky, one layer for the building, one layer for the cities behind the building, one layer for the character. If it's a color study, we might want to group by colors. One for the red, one for the dark parts of the clothing. For the brown, for the skin. The bright parts of the clothing, like the shoes. And then the sky would be the sky. Dust would be speckled on top. The galaxy stuff is a separate brush. So it's a circle and the other spinny stuff. And the building would be one layer for the bright side, one layer for the dark side. Gradients will be applied to the light side, mostly light fall off. So it's brighter near behind the character, slightly more orange and darker near the top. Glow on top of everything, but it will keep it a separate layer on top, so that it's separate. The shadow parts would be some kind of there's a bit of reflected light from the bottom surface, I imagine. Choice of color for value, hue, saturation. I think I get what you're saying, Kirio, but that's a separate sort of process. So right now I'm just mostly thinking of the workflow of how things are going onto the canvas. As to what is going onto the canvas, the specific color that you choose I'm thinking more of that sounds like more like the value hue saturation stuff. I'm just thinking of how to put stuff in. The specific workflow of splitting stuff into how many layers to split, why are we splitting layers, what the benefits, and like why did I choose to do it in a specific way. So in terms of studying for composition, studying stuff like shapes or composition and stuff like that, there will be a different entire thing. So this is just the process again. Right, that's the overall thing here, and then there is the process, and then but there's also intention here. I'm thinking. So this can be either to study comp, in which case you want to notice shapes and balance and stuff. But we can also do like study for colors, in which case I only care about the colors. Colors and relations. So this is the part where you're talking about. So the value hue saturation thing. I think I'm not 100% sure. Like right now, I'm just crafting some ideas here for now. As I try it out, I'm gonna see if it makes sense. So black, white, and then only form and texture. So depending on the intention, we focus on different things, but the workflow will remain the same, I think. Always going from big to small. Yeah, some of this feels like rendering stuff, but it's okay. We're splitting the entire process up. So I guess I'm just saying that I want to split some of these steps here. Lightbox sequence, okay. Once some of the colors is in, you can block out some more shapes if you want to. Yeah, it's just about... There's a loop here somewhere. There's a loop here somewhere. Because once we get enough stuff on what we have existingly... Maybe I should do it here. I should do it here. Then we kind of want to go back to splitting more and more layers, more and more shapes up. Thing. Just to keep the structure. But anyways, I don't know if this is what you're thinking of, but so in the beginning, make this a bit bigger. Saturated enough. That's a bit too saturated. Keep the brush big. Oh, yeah, okay, some colors are harder to put in without markers, but I guess it's fine. It doesn't really matter. My process isn't about having to do everything exactly as mentioned. Why is there no opacity setting? It's just that strong, okay. Okay, then I want a separate one for the clouds. So it's brighter, it's more saturated, it's orange. It's too special here. I don't know if like stuff like this, like picking and repicking, makes sense in a color study, because I have them side by side and I mean, it's also, yeah, it doesn't really make sense that I can get it in one try either, but I feel like constantly trying like this also is just, am I practicing anything? I guess I'm still having to look and then decide which way direction to go, kind of. Anyways. At the end of the day, as long as I keep working at it, I think it's fine though. Oh, I forgot to lock my layers. Not this. I need to lock it to the bottom. No, actually, I'm just going to put them in the folder. No need to lock. Hello? Get in there. You put less saturated orange underneath of this? Ah, yes, I remember like there's like in traditional, people put in like a different color underneath first, right? So that it serves as like a base to make stuff against, and then also peeks through underneath to make it more vibrant and stuff. Less saturated orange, huh? Less saturated orange, something like this. I think I'm missing some shades of color, the hues and stuff. Yeah, like a slow build-up. Yeah, I'm also struggling against the part of my brain that's saying that, hey, the shapes are not right, the shapes are not right, but that's not the focus here. I need to ignore the shapes. It looks a bit red to me, man. It kind of looks red. These guys are not red, orange enough. I think it's a bit too yellow. If it's yellow, let it mellow. Hello? My brush strokes are probably not in the right direction too. I think I should be more this way. Is my cough getting in? Is the noise cancelling out? Okay, it is getting in. That's not good. I shall attempt to not cough. Oh shit, is it over? Alright, let's find some other jazz. Oh, Genshin and jazz? Hello? Ooh. Very nice. don't really need my pure ref. I can get out of here and then the 2-bot doesn't have to be blocked. Not to this extent, not to that extent. That's why. Yeah, wait. Maika, I'm gonna leave it for now. I mean, I'm a bit too particular about this at this point in time. To keep the brush a little bit bigger until we're sort of at the same level for everything, I think, before we get back to details and stuff. Nani? Okay. Alright, the buildings now. I'm gonna cheat and just use a ruler to draw straight lines here. Hello, Igami. Did you go to class? Didn't you go to class? Are you in class? I'm 2 minutes late for that message. So we're blocking out shapes first, and then I'm going to then figure out the values and the colors and stuff. Bito by bito. No one says that in Japanese. 일단 전부 도착. Okay, very cool. The actual photo isn't like straight, I think, but it's okay. I'm just gonna keep it straight. No reason to make it more complicated for now. Yes. How's the traffic today? Is it good? Good traffic today? Wait, you have to type. It's okay. Don't type while driving. Although I can infer from the fact that if you're not typing, then that means traffic is probably pretty good. Things are flowing, I suppose. That's one way of looking at it. These are not tall enough. Huh? Did I just pick a different color? Hello? No. なんかやってんのこれ。見えないな。 somewhere there. Still alive, still kicking. And still go. Thereabouts is fine. So you gotta leave the room. Okay. Yeah. Oh, this sprite's really bright. How do I can paint it on top, I guess. It's not really a separate kind of thing. I don't know. Oh, どうなるかな、ここは。Okay, what is this? Some kind of blue? Choy. Oh, right. Too saturated. Too green. Still kind of green. Still kind of in there though. これじゃない? Same. Oh shit. Should have done a different layer. It's supposed to be nice. Okay. Let's look kind of. mostly on the single surface. The most proteins are cut. Maybe we'll find out. It's fine. Value needs to be closer to the dark ray in general, so pushing this down. Yeah, it's a bit better. right back. Washroom. Take care, Igami. All the best for your classes. This is a lot of work to get it to look good. A lot of work. I'm just eating a banana. Okay. So, for the most part, I think it's in there, kind of. I mean, if you really zoom out, it's kind of close, I suppose. But I feel pretty lost. I still don't. I mean, after all that talk about the framing and all the workflow and process and all that, keeping to it is one thing, but then truly feel like you're making progress or learning something in each and every one of these streams is really hard. I don't feel it either. Like, now that I've done this, and I sort of have an idea of where the colors are, I suppose, but I don't know, like, does it make sense? Like, okay, so the sky pretty standard, just your usual sort of bluish sort of gradient, and then as it transits down, I guess it's going a little bit into the red sort of range because of the lights from the city. And this part is a bit of a desaturation because blue and red and orange is they're not, well, they are kind of close, I suppose, but it kind of goes through gray, right, the transition. So it kind of desaturates a bit here before it goes back into a little bit more saturation here. It's very minor, so the movement is not very noticeable on the chart. That's just that. And then, and maybe because like the sun is still setting, I suppose, like there's no way the city's light is lighting up the sky here. So I guess typical like late sunset kind of vibe. Then the background, I guess the building colors are, yeah, I thought it would look kind of a little bit green. So it's pretty close to the cyan side of the blue compared to everything else, it feels like. So they're slightly green, but I don't know if that's, I guess it doesn't really matter. It can be whatever you want. But I think the important thing is that assuming all the buildings are the same kind of color, right? Same kind of dark greenish bluish color. The further back it goes, the more pink it gets and more desaturated it gets. So the value saturation thing goes down, or rather the contrast goes down because atmospheric perspective. And then the color, I guess, shifts a little bit closer to the atmosphere. Because it goes kind of pinkish and desaturates. So I guess if there's one takeaway for me, I just need to remember that. Whatever color that I have, if it goes into the back, just make the values a little bit brighter, make the colors a little bit closer to the sky or whatever lighting, I suppose, that fits the thing. And then beyond that, everything else is kind of just like random stuff. I don't really know what to take away from this. The shape is very ugly, but yeah, like there's some light gradients here and stuff like that. There's one more thing that I figured out that I learned along the way was because in the beginning it was just the hang on, holy shit, I should have named my layers. It was just mostly like this, right? You have that one layer in the back for the buildings super far, one in the middle, and one for the darker buildings in front. And then even if I put in gradients, it's gonna look kind of like shit. And I guess the way to sort of make it look better is just to do some lasso tooling, select some areas, and then do some airbrushing on it. Hang on, where is that layer? Kind of like this, yeah. Give it a little bit more form, and also it allows some of these areas that, so as previously it was like one smooth gradient, right, from bottom up and across, but this breaks up the shape, so you get these gaps which sort of feels like the light is coming up from the bottom. So this is not very complete. Like these squares themselves should also have some gradient near the top, perhaps. Like for example, maybe if I put in just a little bit of multiply near the top, it might make them look a little bit better. Very, very minor amount. Instead of just being plain squares. I'm not really sure though, honestly. Maybe also not this color. I don't know what this color is. Can't see. Anyways, and then the lights I'm just abstracting away using squares because I'm too lazy to do anything fancier. I also can't. I don't know what to do. Like, if I were to take this any further, right? Ignoring the ground here, I think we can use some texture brushes to get some good stuff in. But I don't know what else I can do for this background. That's why I was looking at James Gilead over here, who does a lot of these sort of very stylized, very squarish sort of paintings. So I'm just observing this, and it seems like for the most part, anything that is shown, it is done very tightly. Like it's very tight. Like all these black lines here for the windows. Yeah, every single thing is like in there. And then if we look into the buildings in the back, in the far back, I think it's the same thing. It's just that only the light parts are shown. So yeah, because the tricky thing with the photograph is that I can't see what I'm supposed to be seeing. Like it's very blurry. It's implying it, and your brain just constructs it. And I can't exactly be painting pixels in like this. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. So I would have to paint it in somehow. And I guess maybe like those squares, something like this would make the most sense. But in this case, it becomes super stylized though, so I'm not really sure. Yeah, so I'm kind of walking away from this, like kind of to just like you know, we did like a color study, I did like a photograph study, but what did I exactly walk away from this? I don't really know. I don't know what to think of this. The focus was the color, and for the most part, the color seems to be accurate. I mean, we did it side by side. It's gonna be really hard for me to screw it up. If I did screw it up, that's pretty bad. Because I can just change the colors gradually until it fits it exactly, even if I don't use the HSV2. So did I learn anything? I guess I noticed that these are pretty brown over here. What is this actually? I'm still pretty off here because I can't read this. This color is hard to read here. What about this one? I kind of just did super saturated because I don't know what to do. I guess this part is the learning. Anyways, yeah, it really is a lot like the early sketching sort of vibe. But I'm pretty sure we're doing better than what I was doing 5 years ago when I was learning sketching. Just learning how to draw. Because back then, I would have just done it like just copy and then just move on and copy and move on without giving it more thought. At least I'm thinking a little bit more. It was inadequate, but it's gonna take some time, so I guess this is it for today. Tomorrow I'll just continue the same pattern, I guess. Just want to scratch it up a little bit. Yeah. It's mostly just the process. Yeah, so it's mostly just the process and some ideas about the colors with the yeah, okay. I missed something? Man, my god. If I were to further work on this, right, it's just fixing up the ground to make it so that it's not so messy. Make the shapes a little bit clearer, I think. And then try to put more shapes into the background somehow. Then again, I'm looking at all the buildings in the back. Maybe those aren't the problem. Like those are meant to be like a mess, like hard to see and not very clear, not very well defined. Maybe it's the buildings to the left that I sort of neglected. Foreground, background as much as possible. Interesting. Interesting. Do you mean like adding more stuff that's not included in the photograph as of right now, Curio? Do you mean taking some liberties and then to just change it up so that you can see the character's silhouette against the background, maybe? The church in front, sorry, which one is the church? Do you mean like this part here? This part here? Kind of mixed with foreground. Right. So I didn't spend time drawing in the I don't know what to call it, this brown area here, because I was mostly focused on the side here. But you're right, like it's missing that, but it's also missing there at the moment. Wait, hang on, let me check the values here. This is quite off. But relatively speaking, I think these guys are about the same value as they have here. Maybe it's just because I missed this part and I didn't put in the brown part. I mean, I appreciate the comment, but to some extent it's accounted for because I knew that I was gonna skip the left side. The left side is we just haven't got around to it yet. Right. Yeah, I have the same problem. I don't know what the goal is here. I mean, the goal was to get close to the photograph, but just with the photograph itself, you know, like unless I want to become a printer, I need to simplify it, right? It has to be stylized somehow, but I'm not willing to accept stuff that I come up with. So what that means is that studying photographs, yeah, sorry, no, wait, that's a different problem. Actually, that's a different problem. That's a rendering problem. That's a polish problem. If we're just looking purely at colors, for sure, like I think, I learned some stuff, I suppose. Like that these guys are pretty gray. I suppose I learned something. Okay, it's very dubious. Like, I mean, unless the next one where we kind of sort of apply this knowledge. If not, it's also kind of a wash. I'm just gonna forget about it. Anyways, this is a mileage problem. We just have to keep doing this. I think at some point something will click. Honestly, to maximize the chance of that is probably just to do a lot of similar themed pictures with different lighting, right? Like if I do like a landscape like this again tomorrow, but the lighting isn't the same, isn't like sunset sort of in the evening with all the lights turned on. Maybe it could be like one of these, right? One of these now, like it's entirely different. There's no lighting, right? How did the colors change? Like what changed with the colors and stuff like that? Maybe something like that. If I do a bunch of the same subject matter under different lighting, then that forces the color to be the focal, because then nothing else is interfering with the structure. So actually that's interesting. So that means that if I want to do like a good color study, it should be similar subject matter under different lighting, because color is just lighting, so that is the only thing that matters. I cannot see this in this fucking massive pile of words here, but similar subject matter, different lighting. Like look at this. This is so much more interesting. But then to some extent, it's like, you know, part of it is lighting, yes, but the other part of it is like people doing photo manipulation and stuff like that, like how, like if they change the palette from the realistic colors into a monochromatic scheme, like what we see here, does it interfere with the study? Not necessarily, right? Because we're just focusing. So even if people manipulate the photo to change the colors and whatnot a little bit, assuming they're not making a psychedelic or something like that, assuming that the way that they're adjusting the photo maintains the original relationship, but just sort of skews it a little bit into different colors, or maybe it makes something lighter and something a little bit brighter. But for the most part, if everything remains relatively to each other consistent, then there's still stuff to learn from it. So that might be the way forwards, I think. Similar subject matter, just different lighting. And then I can try it, I can paint it, and then I can come back and take a step back and be like, hey, what is the difference between the one I did yesterday and the difference between the one I did today? And why is that the case? Like, why are the values relationships different? Right, so today's one is what? Like, so it's a low lighting condition. So the contrast of the sky and these characters is kind of overcast sky kind of lighting, because there's no direct light on everything. So pretty low value contrast. A little bit more desaturated. No, it's not quite desaturated. It's not desaturated because the sky is still blue. It's still lit. So there's still blue light coming down from the sky. The city is desaturated. Also not necessarily, but relatively speaking, that is the case, right? Only because they're darker? No, not necessarily. Is it because they're darker? I don't know, but the lighting is evening. It's not a strong lighting, no direct lighting, overcast lighting. Results in this sort of muted value range, although it's not necessarily that muted. And for the sky, for the most part, it stays within. Wait, why is this RGB? Get out of here. L 30, 40, 10, 20, 10 points ish. Hang on. So if I squint at this, right, the sky, the building, and the foreground all kind of blends together. Only the two characters along with the air dot kind of stands out along with all the bright lights on the right side and the clouds. 20 points of contrast here. That's the highest that exists in the background. Okay. Blue is being emphasized because of the sky. Value is being toned up because of the lighting. I don't know. Like right now we only have one data point, I guess, so that's kind of that. Maybe tomorrow I would try like I'll try like some of these other buildings and stuff. Right, like this is also kind of like a sunset scenario, but in this case I guess the camera is locked on to the lighting of the sky. And because of that, the dynamic range that's available, the range that's available for the bottom, the darker areas is a lot lower. So they all kind of got a little bit darker and a little bit lower value contrast. How the hell does this work? Oh, okay. Wait, hang on. What? Why are the windows so bright though if there's no direct light? I thought maybe it's like because the rest of the building around the windows are not lit up like as though they were in the sun. So the sun isn't shining on the building. So I thought maybe the windows are reflecting the sky. So maybe nothing is in direct sunlight, but the windows are reflecting the sky's color. But would it be this bright? Maybe it's photo adjusted. Right, stuff like this. It's probably just reflecting the sunset sky, right then. So again, for everything else, there's no direct lighting. And then value contrast goes down. What about the values themselves? Still kind of blue because of the sky again, I suppose. Everything's kind of blue, kind of purple. Kind of blue, kind of purple, a little bit cyan. On the light blue cyan side. Oh, it could just be gray. I don't know, I can't tell. What about this one? This one is a dynamic range thing because we're focused on the sky. So everything else gets pretty dark. That's fine. This one is also focused on the light, but I guess the light isn't as bright as this light. I don't know, man. How does this work? But right. Anyways, I think I'll just do more buildings for a bit. Yeah, I think I'll just do more buildings for a bit and then try to consolidate some of these ideas, because yeah, I get the feeling that if I'm just going to draw a bunch of stuff without talking it out, without doing this like a processing post analysis review kind of thing, it will take a lot longer than necessary. So I guess this might be the way to go. We're focused on colors, focus on building with different lightings, and then I'm just going to try and talk it out. Talk out the logic and then see if we can find any patterns or something like that. So now we're already noticing the sort of the colors that's in play, as well as the lighting condition, as well as perhaps the camera itself. Right. Yeah, there's still one gap here, I think. Right, because even, like, let's say for example, I know that it needs to be darker in certain areas. It will be the same as the problem I had yesterday with my other piece, which is, I don't know... is it here? Actually, it's right here. Oh, it's not right here. Oh, I guess I made a new canvas for it, but the problem was that I knew that I wanted to go darker, but I didn't know how much darker, or what colors I should be using. So I think those will still have to come from experience. But in the meantime, I think as we're gathering and doing more, being a little bit more active with the thought process might help with picking things up faster. But anyways, I'm gonna go get some food, and see you guys tomorrow for more of the same. Oh, it's already October. Let's see how far we can go for October, and then November. Let's see. But anyways, thank you guys for coming. Nice seeing you again, Curio. It's been a while. Hope your sleep schedule isn't too messed up. My god. My throat is getting worse, I think, because of all the talking I'm doing on stream, as well as with my friends, Lamau. But it's fine. Anyways, good night. See you guys soon.